everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Team Argon Podcast. I'm your host, Anwar.
And I'm Shadows.
And I'm Grayson.
And this is episode 3 of the Team Argon Podcast. Now, this is like nothing really big here, but I just want to point that we got 10 subscribers. Now, in no way, shape, or form is 10 subscribers anything. But I'm happy, and it brings me some joy that to know that there's 10 people who are interested in what we do, and thanks a lot for subscribing. Now, I just want to remind you guys again, if you have a topic you want us to talk about, leave it in the comments below. And let's be honest, you're probably gonna have your topic talked about because there's like 10 subscribers really. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So Grayson, I heard you've been playing some Far Cry 4. How is it?
Actually, I beat Far Cry 4. And I think it's better than all the previous ones. I like it a lot.
You? Yeah, so I heard that, you beat it in, 3 days?
Yeah, 2 to 3 days.
2 to 3 days? Alright. Okay, cool. Now, how was Far Cry 4?
Better than the previous ones.
Better than the previous one? Yeah, so, unpopular opinion here, but I was never really a big fan of Far Cry 3, but, how does it stand up compared to, the other Far Cries?
Far Cry 4?
Yeah, Far Cry 4. How does it stand up?
Well, Far Cries have changed over a lot, over the course of
Over the course of the years.
Yes, one thing about Far Cry 4 that I'm sure everyone, and I'm sure you've heard of it, riding elephants. And you can also...
ride elephants? Jeez, that's,
Yeah. They also added driving you can shoot when you're in a car. That's another big thing they added. And also, one thing why I think this stands higher up than Far Cry 3, because the antagonist, Pagan Min, he actually has a reason to be bad. He has...
Yeah, not like...
He's a character.
He's not like Far Cry 3's character where it's just like...
Yeah, he's not like
insane.
Voss.
What is the definition of insanity?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like that.
Thank you for that impersonation, Shadows.
Pardon?
Thank you for that impersonation.
Okay.
Anyways, continue, Grayson.
He has character, unlike Voss. He's just
Yeah.
Now, I have a question, Grayson. What did you play it on?
PS4.
PS4. Oh, you have a PS4.
Yes, I
Jeez,
do.
I did not know that. Now, so yeah, Far Cry 4 seems interesting. Speaking of PS4 games, I just got Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, I am a big fan of the Dragon Age games. I was a huge fan of Dragon Age Origins. I found it was a great game, and I love the combat. I love the lore. I loved a lot about it. And now, I got Dragon Age Inquisition, and I am very, very impressed with this game. Now, if you guys know what Dragon Age games are, they're pretty much like RPGs, but instead of having like one character, you have 4 characters. You have sort of like a small party, sort of like Dungeons and Dragons. And similar to Dungeons and Dragons, you can sort of pause the game, and a tactic used most often is you pause the game and you issue commands. Issue what attacks what your party does, and it's really cool. That's like the combat in the Dragon Age games is really fun, and the fact that you get create your own character. It's completely it's completely sort of free world, which is something I love about this game. You could go anywhere you want, pretty much. You can actually explore and travel to different caves and dungeons. It's not really like in the first Dragon Age where it's more linear, but yeah, I really do like Dragon Age Inquisition, and I would have to say I liked it more than Dragon Age Origins. And yeah, it's a really good game, and I highly suggest you get it. And I always choose a magic character because that's sort of what I choose in games. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for Dragon Age Inquisition. Great game. I have it on PS4 because my PC is not Shadows and Grayson knows this. My PCs are not quite it's not quite good enough for
It's like a bucket of bolts.
for high. It's pretty much a bug.
According to Dan Ors, he says it's just a cardboard box filled with screws.
And bolts, and wires. Anyways, so now we got those video games out of the way. So now the Hobbit trailer. So now we've all seen it here, and
The Hobbit is a
Shadows,
very
what are your
big
thoughts
thing.
on it?
Oh yeah, the Hobbit. I've seen the Hobbit 1, the Hobbit 2, and the Hobbit 3. Sorry, I've seen the Hobbit 1 and 2. And the funny thing is I actually haven't seen the Lord of the Rings series. And I'm actually... I know I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I know. It's
Get out.
It's pretty bad.
You're fired. From now on, he's no longer.
Well, I've seen clips and stuff, and I've watched it when I was a kid, and
Yeah, no, it's alright. Yeah.
So what happens is pretty much like, because since the first Hobbit came out, I was gonna watch it before the first Hobbit, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch all the movies right after the first Hobbit, so then it'll make more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense like in a linear fashion. Now,
Because then I'll understand it way
I
better.
yeah, exactly. You can understand the backstory and stuff. Now, I'm gonna just say sort of an unpopular opinion here. I am just full of unpopular opinions. But I don't. I mean, I like the Lord of the Rings movies, but I prefer the Hobbit ones because I find they are like Bilbo Baggins is a much more interesting character. He's more relatable. Now, Frodo and Sam, they were sort of relatable, but with Bilbo, you feel like him because you've got these really strong dwarves, these fearless dwarves, and then you've got Bilbo Baggins, and he's sort of this just regular guy, and that's what I really liked about the Hobbit movies. And I was rewatching the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug. Sorry, Shadows just put something funny in the chat, but I was rewatching those, and I really like them more the more I watch them, and I am quite excited for this new Hobbit movie. Now, the thing I like a lot about the Hobbit movies is how they're sort of fun. Now, Lord of the Rings movies, they've got sort of they can be fun. They have sort of fun parts, but they're a little bit more dark and a little bit more like medieval fashion. More serious. Yes, more serious.
What you mean.
And the thing is, the Desolation, sorry, not Desolation Smaug. The Battle of Five Armies, it seems to be more akin to Lord of the Rings, which
I know
is
what you
not
mean.
bad, but I kind of, I don't know, it just sets me back a bit, because what I liked so much about the Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and Desolation of Smaug, is that they were fun movies, even though, like, the Desolation of Smaug, you had the scene where Bilbo's being chased by Smaug, and they could have had this sort of, like, really dark scene, but no, they had it sort of, it was still fun.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so, Grayson,
I
what's your opinion
I
on
also
that,
really see, for me, I see the development very well of Bilbo as a character. You know what I mean? Like, I see his character being developed
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, like I like from the beginning, I see him as somebody who's just like he's just an ordinary person who he doesn't seem very adventurous and very courageous. And then next thing he starts to become more like he's kind of like a goody two shoes type of guy, right? So he starts to become more adventurous, and then he starts developing secrets, and then once he develops secrets, the secrets because he doesn't tell everybody about secrets, they start to become things that he keeps away from people, and I think that will cause damage to his character. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I know, keeping so many secrets. Now, I completely agree with you where Bilbo Baggins is a character that he develops himself.
Yeah.
In the first one, he's a goody two-shoe, but by the Desolation of Smaug, you really feel like this character is now more adventurous, he's more brave, he's more courageous. Now, Grayson, what are your thoughts about the whole Hobbit series? Have you seen the first two Hobbits?
Oh, yes, I have, and I've seen all the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on it?
Well, like you said, The Hobbit did seem more fun. More so than Lord of the Rings, but you also have to think it's getting more serious. The first two was them getting there to Smaug, but now they're there, and it becomes a more serious matter because the dragon is threatening everything. And in the trailer, the
orcs, and there's like the orcs.
Yeah, all the armies fighting it. It needs to be more serious because now it gets serious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it needs to become. It can't be still like it can't really be fun.
Like the first movie.
Yeah, because it's a more
serious
serious time.
Yeah, it could still be fun, but it's got to sort of take a step back. I know what you're
Yeah, because it can't be as fun because the previous ones were them adventuring there.
And now
now they're there, and now the fight started. It's
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I do enjoy I do enjoy sort of how it's going for a little bit of a more serious tone. But yeah.
Well, it needs it now.
Exactly.
Now it needs the serious tone.
If it had a sort of a more adventurous tone, then it would be it would feel misplaced because now you've got this sort of dreary environment where like it shouldn't be fun. The characters they're not having much fun. It's not really much adventure.
Because now it's getting more serious, and it's getting more into how they will. Because in the first movie I found was like a comedy almost. It was like it's one of those. It was really easy.
I wouldn't say it's a comedy, but it's a lighthearted
exactly.
action.
It's not action. It's not obviously comedy, but it's like a lighthearted action with funny things. The second one starts to veer off more to the dark, and then it starts to get more
Yeah,
and
yeah,
more.
exactly.
Like Bilbo Baggins starts becoming like a darker character, and I would say that in the Battle of the Five Armies, they can't have the same adventurous type, like happy-go-lucky type of thing. They can't have that, because if they have that, it would just be it wouldn't really make sense, and
It would feel misplaced.
Yeah,
feel
it wouldn't
misplaced.
fit.
So that's what I think about the
Grayson,
way.
what? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Shadows.
Yeah, never mind. I was pretty much just I kind of just forgot what I was gonna say, but whatever. Yeah, what did you say?
Alright, it's alright. Now, Grayson, what's your opinion on the Hobbit movies?
I like them. I like the first two a lot.
Yeah. What are your just curious? Have you seen it in 48 frames per second? The Hobbit movies.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Why?
Because it's sort of like a.
Does it really make a
sort of
difference?
Camera. I'm just saying though, it's sort of controversial. A lot of people don't like it. I personally like the 48 frames per second.
It doesn't really
But,
even matter, because
yeah,
the human eye can apparently you can't really tell the difference between 30 and 60. It's really hard to.
Yeah.
Like
so,
a regular, most
still,
people won't be able to. Like, especially when
yeah.
when I'm
But
doing
what I'm just saying is,
like when I'm doing like when I've recorded videos and I've recorded them either in 60 frames or I've recorded them in 30 frames. There's really no difference. There's only a difference if you drop down
Yeah,
to
that's
25 frames or 26 frames if your computer lags, but that's about it, because there's really no difference in terms of that. 60 feels a bit more.
Yeah, I understand.
60 feels a bit more faster, so you only notice a difference in 60 if you're playing something that's really, really fast paced. Like if you're playing Call of Duty and you're in the action, 60 will feel like it's more smooth and flow better. But for most part, 30 is pretty much all you need.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if they're filming it in 48 frames per second, but personally, I didn't mind it, and yeah. So the plot of the movie is pretty much it's pretty simple. It doesn't really take much to understand it, but Smaug goes and destroys Lake Town, which I mean that's not a spoiler because you could kind of guess it from the trailer. And the five armies are, well, there's Smaug, which is 1, the dwarves, which is 2, people of Lake Town 3, the elves 4, and the orcs 5. So yeah, that's sort of the 5 armies that do battle. And yeah, so I'm excited for this one. And looks like there's a lot of good action. There's some cool little Easter eggs in the trailer, like different stuff like that. And yeah, the only question I have is there's a scene that there's like a bunch of elves in front of the Lonely Mountain. So I'm not really sure what that sort of is, but
well, I'm also
yeah.
excited because it's going to be filmed in 4K. So because I like 4K. I like the new 4K. I like the new 4K approach. I want 4K to be mainstream, and I just love it because I have a 4K monitor. So for me, 4K is beautiful, especially when you're seeing movies and stuff. Because movies, if it's games, 4K doesn't really matter, because it's 4K on games. You only feel like it's 1080p unless they're using actors or like really unless the renders, like the models, are really good. But pretty much it doesn't
exactly.
like 4K is only really good for like movies.
Sorry, go ahead, Shadows.
So pretty much
Sorry,
like
you just lagged out a bit there.
okay, well, pretty much anyway. So like
Yeah.
when you watch the trailer in
it's good
4K,
movies.
you can really see you can really see everything much better. You could see like the fire. There's fire at this point, and
Yeah, you could see more details in the picture. I know. What
yeah,
you're
like
trying to say.
everything in the mountains and the water just looks so much nicer. Just way more detail. It looks like you're actually there. So that's what
And
I
this
like
is
about
just-
4K.
Yeah, this is just sort of a fun fact about the Hobbit movies, but I was watching how they made the Hobbit movies, and did you know, like, there's like a few scenes where the dwarves are sort of running across the landscape, and those are actual locations in New Zealand. Like, at first I'm like, oh, that there's no way that, like, because it shows like a bunch of beautiful mountains and different wilderness areas. I'm like, there's no way that, that's got to be CG, but it turns out, those locations are actually real locations.
Yeah,
That's
because
something.
most of the time it's CGI now. Like for everything,
Yeah,
like literally,
exactly.
you can actually film a movie in about a gymnasium with green screen everywhere.
Yeah,
that's how you
like-
could do it. It's really easy.
Like with
Avatar.
With Star Wars, the prequel trilogy, they were filmed in a large warehouse with blue screen.
Yeah, so pretty
It's
much,
CGI.
and for if you haven't seen Avatar, which is the first 2K movie in 2009, when Avatar was filmed, they filmed it in a giant warehouse, which was just blue screen, and they didn't differ from that because they didn't need to. All they needed was high-end graphics, because they're doing high-end graphics, so all they needed was just a green screen, and they used
Yeah, they use a blue screen, and I'm really happy though there's sort of like more practical effects. I'm interested in practical effects in movies because you could pretty much create anything on a computer nowadays and make it look realistic with CGI. But seeing an actual practical effect like from the original Star Wars trilogy it's something I respect a lot, and I honestly I give a lot of respect to filmmakers who use practical effects over CGI. Now, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the Hobbit trailer. It looks interesting. I'm definitely going to go see it when it comes out. And, so yeah, our next topic on here is,
Before we veer off to another topic,
yeah?
I have to say that The Hobbit, what do you guys really think of what's going to turn out in the Battle of the Five Armies?
I think, first of all, that, Lake Town's going to be destroyed. I can kind of tell that from,
Yeah, well, obviously.
Obviously you can tell. But, I think Lake Town's going to be destroyed. Then there's going to be like this sort of like a battle. It's going to be, the elves are going to be kind of freaking out, and then the elves are going to come, and then there's going to be like an orc battle and stuff. It's sort of just going to be like a whole like.
Do you think there's going to be? Do you think there's going to be something where? Because remember, I forget the female elf's name that is friends with the dwarves.
Toriel.
Yeah. So do you think that Toriel?
Toriel, pretty sure.
Do you think Toriel's going to end up fighting her? I forget his name too.
What's his name? The big elf guy, the elf king.
Yeah, not the king elf, not the king, but the king's son. Remember?
Oh, Legolas.
Yeah, exactly, Legolas. I can't believe I forgot that.
Well, it depends, cause I don't know what Legolas is gonna do now. Whether he's gonna side with the dwarves or gonna side with the dwarves and Toriel, or if he's gonna side with his father, and that'll make for some interesting conflict. Now, if you guys don't know, Legolas was not in the Hobbit, the book. Legolas was in, he wasn't in the book, but it's good that they added him since it's sort of like a sort of nostalgic thing, but also he's actually got a character in here. It's not like they just shoehorned him in.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it on my thoughts. Grayson, what do you think is gonna happen?
With
the whole plot,
Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen?
I can't really say.
Because I really think that it's pretty much
the same thing.
Yeah, I pretty much just think they're gonna take it and almost go Dark Knight. Not like they're gonna make it pretty dark, and they're gonna make it pretty cataclysmic in terms of like everything's gonna happen. There's pretty much everything is going to happen in this movie. Like you're having Smog is gonna like start laying waste to everything, and then you're gonna have like gonna have the orcs fighting the dwarves fighting the elves. You're gonna have a huge like battle royale of everything going on, and everything's gonna be happening. There's gonna be so many things that they're not gonna just have to worry about Smog now. They have to worry about the elves. Now they have to worry about the orcs. Now they're gonna have to. So now they have to find some way to take on this challenge. You know what I mean? Because they're only a bunch of people. It's just they're a group of people. So
yeah, it's a group of dwarves.
Exactly, a group of dwarves. So pretty much, since they're just them by themselves, they can't just take on the entire task. So they're gonna have to find some way.
Allies, or
and then besides Smog, you also have the what's it called? Remember when Gandalf was fighting that the evil there? What was it?
Oh,
called?
yeah, that's Sauron. Yeah.
Exactly. When he's fighting, Sauron there. So.
Well, because they don't actually say it's Sauron, but they say he's a necromancer and he's in control of orcs. So pretty much it's you even saw the eye. So you kind of know it's Sauron.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So pretty much, they have all these challenges to face, and they're gonna have to find some way to do it. And I think there's gonna be a lot of people dying in this movie, obviously. And but I want to really see how they do this, because I want to see if they make it so. I don't want them to do it where it's like no heroes die and it's just like a happy ending and they just end up surviving through it. Like there has to be some casualties in order for it to be meaningful to me, because otherwise I won't forget anything. Because especially when you have characters in either shows, TV shows, or something like that, who do great feats of strength, who do big things and then die unexpectedly after they've completed something. That's kind of that's really memorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Grayson, so do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it for the Hobbit trailer. Leave what you guys opinion on it in the description. But now, Shadows, I hear that you've been playing a lot of Planetside 2.
Yes, Planetside 2. Now, Planetside 2, I saw it about a year ago and stuff, and I was like, it seems pretty cool, but because I didn't really know, like much about it and stuff, and I was like, okay, it's just I thought it was just a first-person shooter that just had it was like one of those games that are in progress.
Sorry to interrupt you, but when did you say you started playing it?
I actually started playing about a week ago, maybe less.
You started.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there a problem, Grace?
No, I was just thinking of something.
Because I've played it back in 2012 when it came out, but when it was back in 2012, it seemed more of one of those beta games, which are kind of I wasn't really too crazy about it, and so I was getting bored about a week ago, and I started looking up MMORPGs, and I really wanted to play something in the future genre, because all these MMOs are all medieval and there's swords and magic and stuff, and I kind of really get tired of that after a while. I want to see some some futuristic stuff, because I don't always like playing in the past is fun with magic and stuff, but I really like to see some kind of MMO that involves robotics or something like that. Like if they invented, I don't know if they have, but let's say they had a game where it was in the future, it's an open world future game where you have you can get your own mech, you can get your own type of, if it would be a futuristic war, that'd be pretty cool as an open world MMORPG, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's pretty much, well, to be honest, Shadows, I don't really think it's an MMORPG. It's more along the lines.
Yeah, it's an MMO, but I think it's an MMO.
It's an MMO, not really. It's definitely not. It's not really a role playing game, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so pretty much. So I was just really looking for something to play with. So I was I Google some good. I Google some futuristic. I Google futuristic MMOs, and then I Googled popular MMOs and stuff. And I was looking for because you have World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Smite. And all those pretty much all the big games, and I was no, I was pretty much just passing those. I was looking at more, and I saw EverQuest, which I was nah, I'm not gonna do that one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, a huge thing. I just kind of want to branch off a little bit. A huge thing with a huge gaming thing now is the MOBAs. Multiplayer online battle arenas like Smite and League of Legends. To be honest, and Dota 2 as well. I never really got into those sort of and MOBAs. What about you, Shadows? What do you think about
because
those MOBAs?
I don't really like things like that. I like open world stuff because it feels because I came from a past of playing Call of Duty and stuff, so I played everything from MW2 all the way to Advanced Warfare, and so when you play those games, you really get those because I like the way it's structured. It's structured where you get into a game, you play your let's say you play domination or something, you get your high kill streaks and the game's over. And then I don't really see how that would really work for League of Legends. I know it works. They make it work, but I don't see it really fitting in well, because I like especially if it's a timed game something in Call of Duty. I like fast paced. I want it to be fast paced, really really hectic. I don't want to just be
sort of slow moving, a sort of chess thing. And I understand what you're saying. And part of the reason I never got into MOBAs was I like to see character progression. Now,
yeah,
of
I know,
course,
me too.
in games like League of Legends, your character does technically progress because they get new levels, but really not much happens. You get sort of a new level or rank, and once the game's over, the stuff you bought with your gold is gone. Now, I know a lot of people don't really care about this, but it's sort of one thing I like. I like sort of having a feeling of progression.
Exactly,
and
that's what I like too.
When at the end of the game, everything you have is gone, it's sort of I don't know, it just doesn't feel, as good.
Because it gets old really fast, because then it's just okay, I'm gonna go in the game, buy the same things again.
Okay,
buy the
I'm
same
gonna buy
things
the
again,
new stuff. I'm gonna buy the new
buy
stuff.
this, because then you're always gonna buy in pattern. I was gonna buy a pattern of stuff. Let's say you have these items that win you the game, then you're just gonna buy those items all the time. So that's why I don't like. That's why I like having games where you keep your items and you buy stuff and then you just keep it, and you don't have to buy it again, or you can move onward and stuff like that, and you can really feel there's a lot of stuff to do and stuff. So games like World of Warcraft or Star Wars: The Republic, there's so many items in the game that when you play and stuff like that, you never really run out of items, you never really run out of things to buy. You can literally,
and you feel
you can literally have
Yeah, you.
like millions and billions of credits or currency in that game, and you probably couldn't buy everything in the game because it's possible because there's limitless things to do, and you probably couldn't
Yeah.
even collect every item in the game. It's impossible.
Yeah, like in WoW, sort of a lot because Gray said, you have to agree with me on this. In WoW, you feel sort of you could progress, right? Grayson,
Yeah,
you
there
level
is
up,
progression.
There's a lot
you
of
get
progression.
you get more gear and stuff, and your character sort of changes, and he changes to what you want, sort of. And in League of Legends, that doesn't really happen, or other MOBAs.
Because like in
Um,
World of Warcraft, you could really feel that once you hit your max level, that you remember leveling up to that and putting in the effort to get to this max level, and then once you have everything you remember like how you got this and the journey to it. And I just like the journey. The journey is
Yeah, the
why I
journey-
like the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like the saying, the hunt is more, it feels better than the kill,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of just sort of sort of backside. That's sort of why us here on the podcast, we don't really like, if you're asking us, sort of talk about MOBAs. I mean, we might talk about them, just we're not that interested in them. But yeah, anyways.
Just leave us a
So,
comment. I'm open.
Well,
to
I
trying
like
things.
MOBAs.
You do?
Yeah, I like MOBAs.
Get out. I'm just joking.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
pretty much we're open to
well,
new
okay.
ideas. So just
Yeah,
if
we're open to
anything
new
like
ideas.
we like whatever topic we'd pretty much do. We're not gonna be like, nah, I don't like that topic, so we're not doing
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
We're not gonna do
No,
that.
yeah,
We're
we'll
just-
talk about any topic. I mean, Grayson here, he likes MOBAs, so you guys can talk to him.
yeah,
Oh.
pretty much.
Thanks.
But yeah,
I'm
anyways.
obviously the minority here.
Yeah, you're obviously the minority here. First you're American, and now you're a mobile player. What next? Anyways.
So then,
so
so pretty
more-
much, so
more on
Planetside
Planetside
2, I'd recommend that you guys go play because we should probably do videos in which because
Well,
it's
yeah.
really I love Planetside 2 in the way that it's different from everything where it's the battle's always going on. That's where I like. Whereas in WoW, the thing that they don't have is they don't have PvP always going on. You have to queue for it, and there's battlegrounds and stuff, and they don't have progression of it. Like, what I love about Planetside 2 is, like, it'll show you some days, it'll be, like, they give you percentages. So, like, it'll show you, conquer territory. So, like, some days you'll see, like, the one, like the red team is pretty much at like 41% and they control the most, and another day they'd be at the lowest or almost dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I
I
know what
like
you mean.
I like that in World of Warcraft they don't have that. They have it so it's like they're pretty much they leave it way too open ended, which I don't like. I like to see that like at one point like what would I like I like to see in World of Warcraft would be one update the entire alliance is almost crushed and obliterated, or like one update the entire horde is almost crushed and obliterated. It's something like that.
Yeah, and there's sort of like an ongoing battle.
You obviously don't play on Illidan.
Well, yeah, I've seen Illidan, but pretty much.
Yeah, I play Illidan.
Like,
It's
but
brutal
there's
for
no, like-
Alliance.
No, but like in Illidan, you don't just see like okay, Stormwind City is non-existent in like for like a month because they just took
Actually,
it over.
it was for a long time. Horde controlled Stormwind City pretty much.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh, really?
it wasn't actually like gone. Like you didn't have like Horde flag and game stuff in there. That's I like.
Nah.
I'd wish they'd have it so it's like Stormwind has like almost like like you can almost capture Stormwind. Like it's almost like a domination point.
That would be interesting. You could have sort of like different domination points in the game, and
then that's how it works. So like, let's say you control Stormwind, and then like you can go get Orgrimmar and take it over, and like over time, it's just the balance of everything switches. You know what I mean? Because then you'd have PvP, to have huge wars going on, countless all the time, trying to seize cities, and that would be really, and even villages. Like, well, villages, it couldn't be every
like
village. 'cause-
Goldshire and stuff.
Yeah, like
You know,
Goldshire.
Well,
Goldshire-
that'd be really hard to do because you have to think Stormwind is basically
The
there's a lot of
capital.
humans there, and those
same
humans
with
wouldn't be
Orgrimmar.
loyal.
Yeah, but you're gonna make it. It's gonna be really hard to take Stormwind. Like, how
That's the
easy
thing.
is it to take Stormwind? I don't think it's pretty easy.
On Illidan, it'd be super easy.
Yeah, on Illidan, it would be
All they'd
super
have to
easy,
do is
but
walk
then-
in there.
But then Illidan is a horde a controlled server, and then that it
Yeah,
would be like
it's like
that. So on,
98%
like some
Horde,
servers
like
in
2%
Planet,
Alliance.
exactly on some servers in Planetside 2, one entire federation is obliterated. I've seen that one entire federation got obliterated, and there's a battle between two federations now. So I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. That's what I like about Planetside 2 because Planetside 2, there's always a battle going on, and you can literally just get in the game and spawn into a real life, real time battle, and that's what I love
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. Yeah, so on the podcast here, we're planning on making a sort of a let's play with all the folks here at the podcast. Now, would you guys want to see that? Sort of like everyone here playing Planetside 2, and like we'd all pick the same faction, sort of just work together. It may not be like more than like a few episodes, but still, just let us know if you want to see a let's play of it, because we're planning on making a few let's plays, with the like multiplayer games. So let us know about that.
Yeah, just let us know about if you want, because if we do let's plays, we're not going to do them every day. We'd probably do them maybe once a week, because I've got school.
Yeah,
and editing
exactly.
is kind of hard. So, but if it's not too long, then it's okay. But it just as like we're not going to be doing like let's plays Monday through Friday. No, that's not.
No,
I can't
exactly.
do
We're
that.
not going to be Smosh Games who uploads like 2 videos a day. But yeah. So just we're planning on making new new videos and stuff. We're still gonna keep our our schedule, of Dano reviews on Tuesdays. Which sorry about Dano review only coming out on Thursday. There's an editing.
We had a little editing thing going on, so.
And Wednesdays being the quick topic Wednesdays, and then we're just want to announce this. We may have a new show coming out every Thursday. Now it's still in development. It's about video games. We may or may not cancel it, but. Just let you guys know.
We'll see, but if we do that, because we might think that like now we could do a let's play, and let's play could be let's play Thursdays, or it could be like we have to, because we have to balance what we have out. You know what I mean? So I think the first let's play series we should do is let's play MMOs. And
yeah, exactly.
we should go into every MMO and get to like a certain point in every MMO. So we'd play, and in playing every MMOrpg, then we'd really know how everything works. So like, I think we should start off with either Planetside 2 or Sweater, or we just start with the Republic, and we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Sweater you can't really do much in, because Sweater is kind of like, you can't really record too much World of Warcraft gameplay as well as Sweater gameplay, because you can't just record leveling. You know what I mean? No one really wants to watch level.
Yeah. No,
So it'd have to be like player versus like PvP, or like some kind of. We'd have to find something like that. So Planetside 2 might be maybe our first or second choice, but we'll have to play around with that. But I really think we should probably go into doing like let's plays for that. Something that's let's play that like is we jump right into action, because nobody wants to see us just sit around.
No one wants to see people leveling up. But now it's time for us to move into our final. So it's a new segment of the podcast. It's going to be sort of a debate now. Keep in mind this may horribly fail since we haven't really practiced this. But we're going to be having a debate between me and Shadows, and it's going to be about free-to-play games, and now whether or not they are they're good. And arguing free-to-play games are good is going to be me, and arguing that they're not very good are going to be Shadows.
Okay, so let's keep this a little short, because we're gonna see how this goes. If this goes really well, then we'll make I was thinking we could do something like a monthly debate, that way monthly debate we won't run out of topics, because if we do like a weekly like the problem with also doing like movie reviews and stuff is you're gonna run out of videos eventually. Movies, but like once you get all the good movies done, everybody's gonna be like, no one's gonna want to watch your review some movie that has like a $30,000 budget made in like a town. So
yeah.
So pretty much, so we want to keep everything nice and consistent, and we don't want to run out of topics, because then if you're talking about nothing, what's the point of doing that? Like, what's the point of having filler?
We're just talking about small topics and stuff. So now we're each gonna do a 30-second. We're each gonna do just a small 30-second debate. Now I'm gonna argue that yes, they are good, and we should have more free-to-play games. And Shadows will be arguing that we should keep less free-to-play games out there, and stick more with paid games so you can have more content. Alright, so I guess I'll go first.
Okay, so your timer
I'm timing,
is starting.
Correct?
No, I'm timing it. Okay, ready?
Alright, okay, so
get ready.
First
5,
one's 30 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so you've got video games, and usually video games make a lot of money. Now, the best way to make a lot of money and to capitalize on the entire market is free-to-play games. Now, you see, the thing is with paid games, not many people have a lot of money to get actual paid games. But with free-to-play games, you get to access two types of gamers: the gamers who want to spend tons of money, and gamers who don't want to spend a lot of money. So you could have both types of gamers: the money sharks who have a lot of money.
30 seconds are up.
30 seconds. All right.
Okay.
Now,
so
Shadows,
start me at 30 seconds, and like 34, 30. Okay.
All
so
right.
Time me 3, 2,
2.
now. Alright, so I disagree with that
Go.
because I think that games that are non-free-to-play and games that you have to have either subscription or buy-based make it better because then the company puts more of their effort into it. They can put either more DLC, either more support content. They give you better troubleshooting, things like that. Like Blizzard, for example. Blizzard has a really, really good community, and the way they the way they put games on, and the way they update every couple months and they fix things. And because you play World of Warcraft, you play it. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you got?
All
What do you
right,
think of that?
Now we're gonna have a. Yeah, exactly. And now, do you want to do like a 15-second rebuttal where we just spend the next 15 seconds just covering that?
Sure.
All right. Okay. So now let's go for my one last 15-second rebuttal, and then you'll do
Now.
yours. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Now, what you're trying to say is that having actually paying $60 for a game gets you more content. I personally disagree with that because you're still gonna make a lot of money off free-to-play games. I mean, have you seen League of Legends? It makes, I think, something crazy like a few $1 million every day or something. It makes a crazy amount of money, and this is a free-to-play game where you actually don't have to spend money. So I disagree with that.
Okay, yeah. So for me, I have a question for you because if free-to-play games, they don't have because when it's free-to-play, you don't have the same devotion from the people, from the developers. Whereas like Call of Duty, since you're playing Call of Duty, they give you everything. They give you everything that you need, and every update, everything that goes wrong, they're right on top of it. And also, another thing would be how I'm out of time. So yeah.
Yeah, out of time. Well, next week we might switch it up. Like, you don't really have a time limit because, you want to sort of get your arguments out of the way. But yeah, so who do you think won that debate? Whether me saying free-to-play games are good or Shadow saying they're not good. But yeah, so now there's not really much else to talk about in terms of topics and news, but I do have one story to say. Now, this is sort of a funny story, and now Grayson, I've told you this moose story, right? Grayson?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I told Grayson the moose story, and it really reminds Grayson, who the Canadians are.
Yeah.
Pretty much what happened was,
Sorry about that.
the other day
Sneeze.
I was, a few weeks ago, we had a moose come into our town. And we had to, it was an 11-foot tall moose, and we had to, actually get, people to come, the SPCA to come, and pretty much pick it up and, move it out of the area. And, yeah. Now, Shadows, you live near the Rocky Mountains, right?
Yeah, pretty much in Calgary, so.
Yeah, so are there, do you have, a lot of animals incidents there?
No, not really. I haven't really heard of anything.
Because, I heard there's a lot of bears in the Rockies and stuff.
Well, yeah, I'm not in the mountains.
Yeah, so
I'm, in cities.
I know you don't live in the mountains. I'm just saying, if you ever have, sort of
No, we don't have that.
sort of anything coming.
But anyway, so we're
Well,
pretty
yeah.
much done here. So anyway, just don't forget to like our video, comments, and subscribe, and leave us a topic and ask questions.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll pretty
again,
much
if you leave it,
see you in the next video.
yeah, we'll end it here. But actually, I have one thing to say.
Okay.
If you leave us a topic, it will most likely be picked because we only have 40 views per video on a good video.
So yeah.
And so yeah, don't be afraid to leave a comment saying what you want us to talk about. And let us know whether or not you guys want us to do these monthly debates. Now, it didn't really work out well in the terms of a podcast form, but if you want us to do sort of a debate in sort of a monthly debate on the channel, let us know that. Also, let us know what games you'd like us to play, sort of as a group, preferably a free-to-play multiplayer game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Shadows.
And I'm Grayson.
All
And
right.
this is episode 3 of the
Team Argon Podcast. We'll see you next week, and goodbye.
Bye.